There was a year that I was working as an engineer in Freescale, and that turned out to be the year Freescale decided to get out of the cell phone business. That meant I and several hundred others went out of Freescale. But because I'm a Toastmaster and had years of experience, I decided, since I'm not working at a regular job, I'll do some teaching in Mesa, where I live, for the Mesa School District. So I taught at the elementary level, the junior high level, yes, and even high school. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But one thing I noticed about the junior hires and the high school kids, so many of them, boys and girls alike, had no ambition. They just weren't ardent. And I wondered to myself, what will happen to these kids? Well, there was one kid at Mesa High who was one of those kids. His name was Kyler Fackrell. Now, I never met him because I was teaching at Mesa High in 2012. He graduated from 2010. 2010 was a great year for Mesa High. They're the Jackrabbits, and forever they've had bad football teams. But that year, they had a good team. They actually made it to the championship game. And one of the players on that team was a linebacker named Kyler Fackrell. Kyler Fackrell was pretty good. I wouldn't give him all the credit for them reaching the championship game, but he was part of the process. He was on the team. And following high school, he even had an opportunity to go to college. He was made an offer at Utah State University. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's in Logan, Utah, the northeast corner of the state. It's a small but green campus. It's great. Well, what do you suppose Kyler Fackrell did? He did nothing. He did nothing. He lived with his mother. He did nothing. Even though he was a Mormon, he could have gone on an LDS mission. He was offered that. He did nothing. And with nothing to do, his mother worked. And she worked with another woman who also had a son. This son had a painting business. He did house painting, not the outside or inside of walls like you might be thinking. This was a custom painting one-man firm for rich houses. He would do murals. He would do wonderful things on the walls. And he spread his business by word of mouth. He never advertised, although you can go on the net right now and find it. But he needed a worker. And it so happens the two mothers were talking one day. She said, my son needs work. So for $10 an hour, he started working for this painting company. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Painting murals? He didn't get to paint the murals. He was the guy that would get the equipment, do the cleanup, and it was a hot, dry heat, let me tell you. When you go into rich person's homes, you have to do things to the walls. You have to clean them. It raises a lot of dust. Rich people don't particularly like dust going through the vents and going all over the house, which meant there was no air conditioning, and especially in the summer. It was very hot. Jobs could last for a few hours, or they could go for an entire week. So what kind of a person do you hire for such a job as that? Well, first of all, the guy has to be reliable. Kyler was reliable. He was always ready in the morning when his employer picked him up because he didn't have a car. And he carried the stuff. He was a strong guy. He had been in football. He was a strong guy. He could do the work. It might have been a little boring, but he was there every month for about 10 months. Now think about it. Here's a kid who's not ardent, no particular ambition, but he's doing this for every day, just about for 10 months. And he suddenly realized, where am I going? What is my future? So his mother talked him into coming back and approaching Utah State University. So he did. He went there, and the coach said, well, you know what? I thought you were on a mission. The scholarship I offered you has already been taken by someone else. So he had to walk on. But eventually he made the team, he earned the scholarship, and he spent 4 years at Utah State University as a pretty good football player. Now, one thing to remember is The United States is a land of opportunities. Perhaps you think limitless opportunities. Well, it starts out limitless. But every year that you grow older, some of those opportunities close to you. You may have others open, but you lose that. Well, by the time Kyler Fackrell graduated from Utah State University, he was 26 years old. But he was eligible to go to the NFL. The problem is, he was 26. Now consider this, a lot of people coming out of college are 21 or 22. By the time they're 26, they have 4 years of experience in playing pro football. So he was not a first round draft pick. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Green Bay Packers. A team that needs a draft at the end of every round, so they're looking for talent that they can coach up. So today, Kyler Fackrell is married, has a little girl, and he's trying out for the Green Bay Packers team. Now they start training camp within the next 2 weeks. So that's an interest to me. That's one thing that keeps the preseason games interesting. I'm looking at people, and every person has a story. But the story I tell my kids and grandkids is, opportunities close every day. Think about what your goals are. Mr. Toastmaster.